1 year ago, I was standing here in the same conference and I gave a talk which I titled The Road to Anonymous Bitcoin. Today, I am standing here and I titled my talk Anonymous Bitcoin. I wonder why is that? 1 year ago, this conference was called Breaking Bitcoin. I did not break Bitcoin, someone else did, you might remember. Today, this conference is called Building Bitcoin. I learned from my mistake. So today, I want to present you how I built on Bitcoin. I have two goals with this presentation. One is to provide a case study of a Bitcoin developer, and hopefully you can learn from his mistakes and also his successes. That Bitcoin developer is me. The second goal shall be secret for now, and I will only tell you at the end. Okay, I organized this talk into 3 sections, JoinMarket, TumbleBit, and ZeroLink. I did not going to talk too much about these projects. I will tell you what are these, but I organized these talks because these were the things what I pursued. So this is wanted to achieve, to deliver in different phases in my Bitcoin developer career. And I will also speak some of the speakers, and hopefully you are going to wait for their presentation just as much as me. Okay, first slide. Laugh it out. I worked on a couple of projects, a bit more, but I'm going to only talk about these projects. And what I am the most proud of is the couple of days ago, I became about the 100 most active contributor on GitHub. So what you have to notice that the only list what you can find about GitHub contributors can only do more than 1,000, only count people who have more than 1,000 followers, so I have to be much lower, but anyway, it's something I'm proud of. All right. Okay, first I want to talk about this concept that success and how success looks like, how you imagine success and how it looks like. If you want to go from A to B, you first hear about Bitcoin and you realize your success is your contribution to Bitcoin, all right? And then you figure out what is your contribution and you go towards that goal. But it's very often your goal changes. So that's one of the reasons why success doesn't look like as a straight line. In every part of my presentation, my goal changed. So first heard about Bitcoin, but I couldn't do much. I was a .NET developer and the cool kids were all coding in Python and there were no tools I could have used. So when anything I wanted to deliver or I wanted to build, I just saw so many things to build before that. And that made me just hanging around on social media, gambling on altcoins and things like that. And then I was in Taiwan. It was 10 p.m. at night and I was out of money and I had this job interview of a blockchain developer job interview. I was very excited about that. And this guy said to me, hey, if you come tonight, I will buy you a ticket to Thailand. And I was so excited, got on the plane, packed my stuff, got on the plane, get to Thailand, and the guy took me to the woods And there were a couple of developers, and we were trying to come up with some blockchain product. The only criteria was to come up with anything that's blockchain related. We did not succeed. So that's when I realized I have to stick to Bitcoin. This thing came out called JoinMarket, and everyone was so excited about it. And it was a command line software. So I thought to myself, hey, I just built a user interface for it. That's easy. It's a 1 week job. So I did build a user interface. But there was one problem. I couldn't connect their Python code through the command line with my C# code. It seems like an obvious, an easy thing to tackle, but I was already spending months on it. I was so obsessed to trying to solve this problem that I said to myself, all right, I'm going to rewrite JoinMarket in C#. One of the developer of JoinMarket, one of the creator of JoinMarket is Adam Gibson, who is also going to speak on this conference. That's his face. So I said to myself, I'm going to rewrite JoinMarket in C#, or at least some parts of it. But for that, I had to learn how to code Bitcoin, how to develop in Bitcoin and C#. And I was looking around, and I already found that someone has built the C#.NET library, who is also here. And I sent a letter to, you know when, I don't know if you do that, but how many Facebook messages did you send to Mark Zuckerberg? I sent a lot. So I sent a message to this guy too. And he said, come to Japan. I'm in Japan, and let's do something. So I found myself on a couple of days later on a plane to Japan. The guy who wrote the .NET Bitcoin library, which is called NBitcoin, is Nicola Doria, who is also a speaker on this conference, and I can thank him a lot. I went to Japan. He already wrote a book called Programming the Blockchain in C#. Well, at that time, blockchain was not a curse word, so yeah, I like to call it the C# Bitcoin book. And I basically rewrote it to my level. I extended on a lot of concepts what he was writing down, and I put it on GitHub. And that's how I learned Bitcoin programming. But I did not forget my goal. I wanted to convince Nicholas to come and do JoinMarket with me. But he was just not interested in privacy. And by the time I realized that I am not going, there is just so much more to Bitcoin development than I could simply rewrite JoinMarket. It's just not going to happen with a couple of months' knowledge. And so I decided there is another way to go about it. Let's learn Python. So I was on the way becoming a Python developer. I wanted to write actually an HTTP API, some inter-process communication and HTTP daemon for JoinMarket, so I can finally connect my two code together. But then Nicholas sent me a message that, hey, did you heard about this thing, JoinMarket, TumbleBit? And I said to him, yes, I heard it's some very hard thing to do. It's very complicated. Why don't you do JoinMarket with me? No, I'm going to code TumbleBit. It's much easier than JoinMarket. That's what he said. So I said, all right, if you are the god of Bitcoin.net programming, and if you are going to work on TumbleBit, then I am going to work on TumbleBit too. What is TumbleBit? TumbleBit is a unidirectional payment hub, something like the Lightning Network, but without the network part, and it's anonymous. So there's two modes to TumbleBit. One is the payment hub mode, and the other is the classic Tumblr mode. JoinMarket. The difference between JoinMarket and TumbleBit is that TumbleBit has a lot bigger anonymity set, which can go to the hundreds if enough people use it. But JoinMarket is instant. And I started to work on TumbleBit. But first, I had to understand what TumbleBit is, and it was not an easy job. Only the white paper was available. So I started to writing a blog post, understanding TumbleBit. It was a series, and with these blog posts, I was understanding TumbleBit. And what I understood, that was one of the things, is that we need Tor. Microsoft was already open sourcing and cross-platforming .NET at the time. The cross-platform .NET is .NET Core, and we decided to go with that, but there were no Tor library for, Tor is an anonymity network, for those who don't know. There were no Tor library for .NET. So what I did, I wrote a Tor library. And it's called .NET Tor, and I'm still maintaining that. A moment. Now we have Tor, we have TumbleBit, and TumbleBit in process of making, but I realized something else too. There is no light wallet that would not fail on the privacy level, on the network analysis level. So every light wallet is vulnerable to network analysis. With most light wallet, it's easy to see because it's mostly just querying a web API. So every Bitcoin addresses of yours are just connected together. But with SPV wallets, it's a little more subtle, and Jonas Nick, who is also a speaker of this conference, has de-anonymized a lot of SPV wallets. He said, give me one of your Bitcoin address, and I give back 70% of your wallet addresses. So that's pretty scary. I was looking into it, what can we do? Because, building TumbleBit on Bitcoin Core means we will have no users, we will have no anonymity set. It's just not going to work like that. So I was looking at ways to do it. And Jonas Snelly had a pull request into Bitcoin Core, who is also a speaker of this conference, and he built a full block downloading SPV wallet, which is kind of like a full node, but it does SPV verification, and it only downloads the blocks from the creation of the wallet. So, and that pull request to Bitcoin Core is still there. I would like to see some progress. You guys can help me. Yeah. So I built my own full block downloading SPV wallet in .NET. I called it Hidden Wallet. By the way, the idea of Hidden Wallet goes back way into the JoinMarket phase. I called it Hidden Wallet even back then. So I built the full block downloading SPV wallet, which was light-ish. So yeah, there was nothing else to do. That was good enough. Oh wait, we can do this. Oh, one of the interesting thing I realized while I was building a wallet, it's just a little segue that fee estimation is non-deterministic. You don't know the fee before you know the transaction size. And you don't know the transaction size until you calculate the fee. Think about that. So, the light wallet is ready. That does not exposes your links between your addresses on the network level. The tool library is ready, and TumbleBit is ready. I was integrating TumbleBit into hidden wallet, and then I just took a step back and I wrote a blog post again. And what I realized is that I compared TumbleBit and CoinJoin. JoinMarket is CoinJoin. What I realized is that TumbleBit's classic Tumbler mode and JoinMarket and okay, so there was something I didn't know it existed. Actually, it's called Coin Shuffle. It existed at the time, but it didn't click for me. So I called it CoinJoin as envisioned. And I realized this thing would outperform TumbleBit's classic Tumbler mode. And because the network fees were at the time was going up like crazy, and TumbleBit rounds were taking 2 hours. Today actually it takes 6 hours. So it's not getting better, the fee is getting higher, and there is this CoinJoin variant that might perform much better in almost every way. So I was looking at it if this thing exists, and I found Coin Shuffle, but Coin Shuffle was so complicated that I think it would take millions of dollars for developers to get delivered. So I was looking at something else, and then I found something. But before that, I want to ask you: does anyone know who is the red bear guy? Well, that's Maxwell. It's an easy one. Well, who's the other one? David Chaum. Yes. So Maxwell in his 2013 Bitcoin Talk post, he wrote an idea that how can we do CoinJoin as envisioned with David Chaum's blind signatures, and it was just 2 lines of writing and hidden inside frequently asked questions sections, and no one seemed to notice it. I didn't know why is that. So I asked Ethan Heyman, the creator of TumbleBit, that look at this. You wrote something in the TumbleBit white paper about CoinJoin, but it seemed to work properly this way. And he was, oh really? I read that blog post 1,000 times and I never seemed to notice it. So it seemed to have been pretty hidden. No one was doing Chaumian CoinJoin. So I get on that, and it was a pretty hard realization. When you spend probably a year to work on TumbleBit and you found something that probably works better in every way. So, for example, TumbleBit rounds take hours. The Xiaomi and CoinJoin rounds take seconds, maximum minutes. TumbleBit rounds are 4 times more expensive than the CoinJoin rounds. So this kind of differences there are, And it was really hard to realize that. But there was this quote that resonated with me, that what's true is already so. Owning up to it doesn't make it worse. If you think about this quote describes the scaling debate pretty well. Those who did not own up to the truth, which is the inherent unscalability of blockchain, went working on forked off. And those who did own up are in this realm and building in Bitcoin. So I owned up to the truth, built out, described Xiaomi and CoinJoin, and also ZeroLink, which ZeroLink is a framework that makes sure, even if you have a privacy technique on the blockchain, you have to look for many other things, like what happens before the mix and after the mix, or network analysis, and ZeroLink just puts them together. That, hey, you have to look for how you broadcast your transactions. Do you use RBF? How do you set your fees? Just not leave metadata on the blockchain. And I presented ZeroLink in the Breaking Bitcoin meetup 1 year ago. And then, with the help of Matthew Highwood, we implemented ZeroLink into Hidden Wallet, and finally, we were there doing a public testing in December. It didn't go that well. We wanted 100 people to join the mix. We want to fix 100 anonymity set, which is something that not even an altcoin doing. Maybe Zcash would do, but they don't because no one using them. Yeah, I like the privacy altcoins. Anyway, I don't want to say bad things about people who are working on privacy. We did the public testing. We wanted 100 people. We got 100 people, but the biggest mix we were able to achieve was 26. Now, the obvious conclusion is to fix up a couple of things and then release on the mainnet, right? Yes, that's what we planned. But laugh it out. but then I went to the Scaling Bitcoin meetup to the US, and at the border they asked me that why did I come to the US, and I told them that I came for a Bitcoin conference. And they said, all right, come with me. Oh, okay, why? Just come with me. But why? Just come with me. and they took me to a room. There were a couple of people in the room. I actually succeeded to tweet that they took me to somewhere and I don't know what's going on. And then they started shouting at me that, put down your phone, don't ever get it out again. And I was terrified. You know, I couldn't use technology and I had to sit down. I was asking, why am I there? They didn't say anything. I had to sit down, not doing anything, just thinking for 12 plus hours. And I was terrified. And things come to my mind. Did they figure out I'm working on privacy in Bitcoin? and this really resonated with me. That working on privacy in Bitcoin, I don't think I could ever go to the US anymore. I think I should not. And I should I even release this software? Is this even a good idea? So anyway, long story short, they already have their shift. The guards have their shift, so they didn't know why I was there, and they released me. But the thing is that I was so afraid, so I said, okay, let's delay the release as much as I can. Let's rewrite as much code as I can. And with the help of Lucas, we did a lot of things that the hidden wallet didn't have. We added regression tests because I didn't have that. Continuous integration, 10 times more unit test, completely rewrote the Tor library. You know, it's pretty fun to rewrite HTTP protocol from scratch. I mean, you write something that's already that's specified. It's very rare that's how you write software, that you already have the specifications. It's nice. Anyway, and then there come to the idea that I should find the lawyers and team up with them. So make sure everything is 100% legal, whatever we are doing. And they are here in this room, Gergely Hajdu and Bálint Harmat, who are the CEOs of our company, which we called ZK Snacks. This was after a blog digest series, named after a blog digest series. So thanks for the digest to let us go with this name. That was interesting, that when I first went to Gergely, who was my university law teacher actually, that they said, "Oh, this is a crazy idea. You cannot do this. You cannot build privacy on Bitcoin," something like that. But then later on, they come back to me that, hey, this can actually work. You know, there are some very, very strong privacy laws in a lot of countries, so we can make this work, I think. Yeah. So we formed a company. And a couple of things we did. We renamed Hidden Wallet to Wasabi Wallet, which is, now comes the money shot. Because, you know, it's risky to go things with dark and black and things like that. So we do Wasabi. That's a snack, something like that. Okay. There were another thing that happened. Last year, the Lightning devs introduced BIP 157 and BIP 158, which are the replacement of the Bloom filtering SPV wallets, which are terrible for privacy. And how this works is that you have a constant set of filters. You get it from some source, and from those filters you can figure out which blocks you are interested in, and you get the blocks from random nodes. So basically no one can figure out which transactions you are interested in. Even the blocks, because if you are over Tor and you're changing Tor circuits, it's just really hard or too impossible. So this is the first light wallet architecture that's truly a light wallet architecture that does not ruin your privacy. And we implemented it, and probably we are the first one who are going to release it on the testnet, because Bitcoin Core nodes does not support it yet. So we have our own backend that sends the filters to the clients, and that's how it works. And finally, we replaced Electron with Avalonia. If you are familiar with Electron, and you don't like it, then I don't have to tell you much. It's better if I not say bad things about Electron. Say good things about Avalonia. Avalonia is a native .NET graphical user interface framework, and And I succeeded to get one of the main developer, one of the maintainer of Avalonia to work with us. And yeah, it was an interesting story too. I think I can say it. So he said he doesn't have time, but he's going to holiday to Lisbon. So come to Lisbon and we're gonna be at it. So that's what we did. And when they asked me about the conference to speak, I told them, sorry, I don't have time. I'm gonna be in Lisbon. and they said, but the conference is in Lisbon too. I'm like, all right, that's just great. And the result is Wasabi wallet, which is almost finished. And hopefully from August 5 or from October 30, the 1 year anniversary of the 10-year anniversary of the Satoshi white paper, then we can use Bitcoin in a fully anonymous way with Wasabi wallet. I want you to join your coin with me. Thank you. Questions, right?
Thank you. Thank you for the talk. Over here, down here, down. Sorry, maybe I didn't get it, but is Wasabi now based on TumbleBit or CoinJoin or something else?
CoinJoin, ZeroLink.
Okay.
ZeroLink is the framework. CoinJoin is just a mixing technique.
Okay, thank you.
So, thanks for this talk. It was quite good, and I'm excited. I will talk a bit more later with my talk on that. But one thing I just want to precise on TumbleBit that you said, the TumbleBit compared to CoinJoin, you cannot link one input to one output because there is no common transactions. So that's one big difference, and the other big difference is that even the server that allow the different people to join together don't have any idea of where the coins goes. So it's very different security assumption. That said, I'm pretty excited about this, and I will probably talk more about doing something.
What was the second? The second one. What did you say?
Oh yeah. So I said that TumbleBit, even the server doesn't know where the coin comes from and where it goes. Even the server itself.
That's exactly the same with Xiaomi and CoinJoin too.
Okay, so in this case, only the linkability problem in this case.
Yes, and we talked about it a lot of times before, but TumbleBit transactions are recognizable on the blockchain, so the end result is the same.
Right now, yes. If we had good anonymity set, it will not be the case, but right now I agree. Yeah. And there is also, so one thing that also TumbleBit will need is Grapefruit or Taproots to hide the contracts, and that will make them undistinguishable than normal transactions.
Would be awesome. Yes.
So, but I agree. Right now, CoinJoin seems the way to go.
Is it scriptless scripts? What are going to do that?
I'm not too much into the specific of how they will do this, but I know that with Taproot and Grapefruit, I will be able to hide the contracts, which will make me able to, somebody seeing the blockchain won't be able to know, oh, this is a TumbleBit transaction, basically.
All right.
So it will help, and also it remove some stuff that you can do to link together stuff. So yeah.
Thanks for the talk. How does your work relate to or connect with confidential transactions and bulletproofs and stuff like that?
Oh, so right now in every Bitcoin mixing technique except JoinMarket, you have to do rounds. You have 8 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin is the denomination, you have to do 8 rounds. Because the amount has to match, otherwise it would be just a CoinJoin Shodoku to de-anonymize it. Confidential transactions would fix this. I hope we are going to see confidential transactions in Bitcoin when it gets secure enough.
And at that point, you could combine it with your framework for even more privacy.
Yes, I think we have time to figure that out, how to combine it.
Awesome, thank you.
In JoinMarket, there is a incentive structure to motivate people to provide their coins for the market to provide more anonymity. Is there anything like that in Wasabi wallet?
No, there is nothing. The only incentive is the anonymity. But yeah, it's a very good question that I wanted to explain, but I forgot how JoinMarket works. What was the trick of JoinMarket? And I will take this opportunity. So JoinMarket has market makers and market takers. You guys are all market makers waiting for someone like me to come and want to join your coins. Join my coins together with you. And that's what JoinMarket does. Some people are waiting. We join our coins together and I pay the whole transaction and I pay some fee for you guys to join your coins with mine. So this is the thing about CoinJoin, that you're not going to pay 100 people to have 100 anonymity set, and you are paying the whole transactions too. So this would be, on the other hand, with Xiaomi and CoinJoin, with Wasabi, it would be cheap because you are only paying your part of the CoinJoin. Oh. I always miss where people are talking to me, but now I see. Yes. Oh.
Now it's working. Thanks for the talk. And I wanted to ask you if you're going to implement Lightning Network in your Wasabi wallet. How do you treat it in general?
Yes, there are things about how you open Lightning Network channels with CoinJoin, and that would give a big boost to second layer onboarding anonymity. And if you think about that, this is pretty good because you don't need a fixed, because you are okay with fixed denomination to open the channel with. That would be a good use case. But you know, there are a lot of things to fix about privacy, and that's what's prioritized. Thank you.